legislators already see that happening. So I wonder if the optimistic outlook changes the president's priorities in the plan at all and offers more wiggle room for negotiation in certain areas.
Do you mean to we don't need as many jobs?
The goal of the plan is to create jobs and stimulate the economy, and they're saying that's already happening, which is a great thing. So is he willing to scale back on some of these items because we're already seeing growth?
Well, I unfortunately, I regularly watch 60 Minutes. I did not see the whole episode, so I don't know the whole context of his remarks. But I will say that part of what economists feel is that we are still behind, that we need to still do more. Because if you look at our last jobs report, we were still about 8.4 million jobs in the red, that we needed to create, that we needed to Americans we needed to put back to work. There are still parts of the American population, high levels of unemployment among African Americans, Latino Americans, Asian Americans that we need to work to address. This is definitely a jobs package, hence the American Jobs Plan. But what it also does is it helps modernize, invest in our nation's infrastructure, and do that in a way that will help us compete over the long term and help us have jobs for the future. So there are many objectives of this package, but certainly we feel there is more work to be done to put more Americans back to work, and we are not in the clear on that front.
Thank you. And on the state-by-state fact sheets that you released this morning, can you just share how that process happened, including who was involved in putting together the state-by-state reports and what the metrics were to assign that final grade for each state?
Well, it was done by a collection of smart and brilliant people on our economic team that you probably wouldn't necessarily identify on the street, but sounds like a good profile piece to me. But they work to identify what the needs are in the states. I don't know that I have the exact process to outline for you, but maybe you can
work with state officials and local departments as well to decide what each state needs.
What the needs are. I'm happy to check and see if there's more about the process that we can share.
Okay, great. Thank
Sure.
you.
Go ahead.
Yes, you talked about paying for the infrastructure bill. Is the president set on raising the corporate tax rate as the way to do that, even though Republicans are saying it's a red line, or is that also open to negotiation?
It's all open to negotiation, but I will say that having corporations pay their fair share, raising the rate to a rate that is still lower than it has been, aside from a few years since World War II, the president feels is an entirely reasonable, appropriate, effective way to pay for this package. There are other proposals that have been put out there, including user fees. The president doesn't feel that we should pay for this package on the backs of the American people, but he's certainly eager to hear ideas from Democrats and Republicans on alternatives.
And then, Senator John Cornyn called